All right, all right, all right. So let's continue the story on. Uh, I don't even know how to give a proper summary from last time, but something, something, ancient being, something, something, uh, awake. Uh, I don't remember exactly, but if I try remembering anymore and tell you, I'm probably accidentally gonna spoil something on accident, of course. So let's get down to business then, okay? All right, ecstatic. Yeah, I streamed Mafia 3 for 3 hours on Saturday. I had the opportunity to, and well, it was a great thing to find out when I woke up today that it was restricted because there was one song and it ended up blocking the entire live stream from every single country in the world. And the thing didn't even play for like more than a minute. It was just really, really weird. And yeah, thank you, Warner Music Group. I really appreciate your guys' contribution to, know, uh, yeah, I don't want to get any more explicit. Not right now. It's a little chilly outside, but I am inside, thankfully. And I had a heater on a little bit. Like, I don't enjoy the cold at all. Cold bothers me. Yeah. All right, so that's enough of me rambling on about my normal ish day. And yeah, let's continue on where we left off. Yo, yeah, few minutes of driving. In the past, you had to hunt for food. On rare occasions, generous farmers would share their crops to you after slaying their oppressors. Now it's an odd feeling pushing a cart through rows of shelves filled with food. The fact that you can just toss things to your cart without worry amazes you. However, you do need currency, though it seems even the material for currency has changed. Copper, silver, and gold filled your pouch. Find it odd that they use paper with someone's face printed on it. Probably some great leader whose history, splashed with a little deception, made them significant. You have enough experience when it comes to history's greatest bullshit. Scarlet is waving two jars of substances at your face. One is creamy while the other is brown. Are you even listening to me? She asked with an annoyed tone. I don't even know that you were talking. She folds her arms, staring daggers at you. Kidding, right? No. Groans in frustration and tosses the jar into your cart. But you know why she's been on edge. Silence in the living room is due to the absence of the deceased TV. May its soul rest in peace. Wait, did rest in pieces after it fell from the third floor. Push the cart as you follow Scarlet, then you wait in line. Apologize for kicking the television through the window. The woman in front, Scarlet, turns around with a curious brow raised. I kicked her television through the third floor window. She's upset and I'm trying to apologize. You explain to the stranger, and she turns around again with a strange look on her face. Scarlet's face has turned red. I apologize. Apology accepted, she mutters. Now stop telling everyone what you did. Understood, you nod. Scarlet begins to unload the goods onto the counter. You are lost at the marvel of humanity's greatest achievements. A few minutes later, with the paper bag close to your chest, follow Scarlet towards the rows of cars behind the store. If you recall correctly, called it the parking lot. It's baffling when you found out that parking lots are free, but houses are not. There are a lot of homeless mortals leaning around the grocery store. It's not like the old age or any better, but this era is far more advanced than the world you remember. How cruel can humans be? A man wearing a gray jacket steps in front of you, standing strands of blonde hair peek out of his hoodie, pulls an L-shaped object from his faded jeans, then points at you and Scarlet. I want your money, not your life. Scarlet shrieks. She fishes something out of her pocket with panicked fingers. Her mouth is dry and her skin is paler than usual. Please don't hurt. Please don't hurt us. Make it quick. Finally notices you looking him over. Points the object at you. What are you staring at? His eyes are sunken. He is unhealthily pale. For some reason, he's fidgeting. The black L-shaped object in his hands is a weapon. A gun, capable of launching pebble-like projectiles that pierce most materials, like human flesh. Disarm him and slam his face down the pavement. Slap the gun away, and it seems that you have forgotten how strong you are. The gun flies and crashes into a car window. Surprise lines his face, and in a blink of an eye, you lunge. Clench your palm over his pale face before slamming the back of his head against the pavement. Charlotte covers her face with her arms, instinctively defending herself. The fight is over. The pale man lies unconscious in the desolate parking lot. You grab Scarlet's wrist and drag her towards her horseless carriage. Scarlet has been driving silently, still processing what happened. Back in the day, muggers were cornering you in a dark alley, but that man just robbed you in broad daylight without the fear of being reported to the local guards. Can't believe that just happened, he mutters. We almost died. Death isn't a problem for you. Indeed, you say in a flat tone. That man was just another victim caught in a trap. Fell into a hole which he dug on his own, and he's still digging. Things will be much worse for him if he doesn't ask for help and change. Pity the fool. How often do criminals roam free in this city? Well, not so much in the middle and upper district, mostly because the upper district are for the wealthy, finisher, and heavy in security. Scarlet nods. Yeah, and in the middle district, crime is uncommon. But I heard the lower district is the slums. No, not quite. Although crime rate is much higher in the lower district, but we do have heroes who occasionally thwart them. Occasionally? Give her an odd look. Yeah, she nods. Not a lot of them go there. The lack of exposure to the cameras is what discourages them, I suppose. Gaze back at the road. The world has changed, but humans haven't. They're still greedy, arrogant, and fragile. How does one become a hero? Well, first, you have to register at the Sentinel HQ and become a licensed hero. Licensed? They get compensated? Yes, and the higher your rank, the better your payment. So they put in a hierarchy that never ends well. Pretty soon, the lower ranks will create factions, coercing new people to join them. Ask how they rank heroes. Seem to know a lot about heroes. She grins to your comment. Care to tell me more about the way they rank heroes? Well, the only way you can become a hero is if you're a Class C mutant or above. Class C? She nods enthusiastically. There are 6 mutant classes, C, B, A, and the strongest is S. Although there are some that go beyond that, which are ranked as Serpent, Demon, and Dragon. Mutants are categorized by the destructiveness of their abilities, I presume. Yes, but their proficiency also comes into play. It makes sense. Powerful mutants will be easier to monitor under the guise of heroism. See, regardless of proficiency, the most destructive power are ranked the highest. Technique means nothing compared to immense power. Ask about mutants. When did humanity realize that mutants exist? She gives you an odd look. That's a weird question. She chuckles. I'm not into history, but I think mutants were everywhere. However, their numbers were much smaller. And the gods? Oh, yeah, they were mutants too. There's a crazy theory that they were super strong, strong as class serpent or above. Curious look looms over her expression. Then they suddenly vanished. Vanished? No one exactly knows how, but these god mutants just went extinct. Some say it was due to a disease. Others say it was because of the demon. Demon? So you aren't completely forgotten. There are many demons, but Scarlet said the demon. Yeah, the demon that hunted gods. She glances at you briefly. Crazy, right? Yes, very. Drives in silence. Scarlet drives in silence. Ears chirpier, and it seems that she is no longer thinking of the recent event. But there is still one problem. You need to blend in. Act like a mortal. Fear death like a mortal. I'm a mortal. You are aware that your former captors are still looking for you, but perhaps you might even find a peaceful life if you learn how to fit in and belong. What do you think of me? Oh, shoot. Whoops. What what do you think of me? Asked Scarlet, who eye her curiously. She arches a brow. What do you want to hear? The truth. Okay, I think you're strange, like a caveman or something, or a bronze aged man. I see. Also, I think you are strangely attractive. She coughs. Tilt your head. Now she has your attention. You notice how her cheeks begin to turn red, but she smiles nonetheless. Don't look at me like that. I just think that you're attractive in an odd way. Can't really explain it. Do I act strange to you? Yes, and you talk strange too. Gaze back at the road. You know what to do now. Need a mask. Jovial, empathetic, sarcastic, capable of being rude mask. The unstable kind, but it's the only reliable facade that you have. You also need to change the way you talk. Become more modern and less ancient. A few lessons from the internet will certainly help you tonight. Commoner's Mask. Chapter 2. Two sides of the same coin. 2 weeks later, the color of the sky changes to red, orange hues as the sun sets. You are walking on the grayed sidewalk alone with your thoughts, running your fingers on the brick wall behind you, wondering what your plans for the future. Working at Scarlet's Cafe by day, walking with Selena at the end of her shift, you're getting used to this life. The question is, do you want a life like this? I just want to live a peaceful life. Just want to live a peaceful life. Settle down, grow old, and shit. Maybe your future is brighter than yesterday. But fate begs to differ. As you turn to a corner, someone crashes into you. The sound of a gunshot rings through the air. You stagger backwards, clutching your bleeding chest. You glance at the person. Their face contorts in horror. Your vision starts to get blurry. You didn't notice that you've hit the ground. Someone is shouting, red and blue lights flashing. Muster the strength to stay awake, but you fail. Died. But death is not the end. You open your eyes. Long grass seeded with wildflowers greets you. A gentle breeze makes them bend and sway. Clear blue sky and the sun, along with the meadow, works harmoniously to make you feel at ease. I always thought you were going to have a warrior's death. Recognize your voice. It's not you who is talking. Turn around and your eyes lock with his. No, yourself. The only difference is his black sclera and his glowing crimson irises. Who, who, who are you? Voice quivers, unnerved by your own reflection. Oh, what the devil are you? He repeats in a mocking tone. I'm your sword, you brainless sack of flesh. My sword? Your voice trails off. No, kids. I am your father. He laughs maniacally. What? Your face forms a confused frown. Really? I've waited for more than 400 years for this moment, and you didn't get it? Get what? You frown in confusion. Never mind. I'm sure you have a shit ton of questions, so fire away. He grins. Who are you? Give him a quizzical look. My name is Godson. I am a sword. Airhead, he says in a mocking tone. Yes, I seem to have a memory about acquiring a sword. Stroke your chin. Godson claps sarcastically. Good job. Did you know that you were a former mercenary? Shake your head. I lost most of my memory, so I don't understand. No, you don't. Fortunately for you, I've been stealing tiny bits of memory when you were held captive. Grins. Stealing memories? I'll tell you everything. Soon. So rest thy breast. Where am I? So, where am I exactly? Gestured at the place. I'm not sure where this is, but you usually enter here when you're about to die. Shrugs. You blink a few times, letting out a nervous laugh. I'm sorry. What? Godson appears to be irritated but does his best to mask it. Let me be clear. Your body is dying. So, what are you? Like my imaginary friend or something? You gesture at him, chuckling nervously. Godfrey sighs, massaging his temples. No, I am real, you dumbass. So, what are you exactly? I'm a telepathic microorganism of some sort, trapped inside your sword. I don't know how I survived being forged into a damn sword, so let your imagination run wild. Shrugs, not sure if he's being serious or if just messing with you. So, you're like a metallic bacteria, only smarter? Give him a quizzical look. Godson sighs. God, you're denser than the sun. Godson flings his hands around in between worlds. What do you want from me? You fold your arms. Well, if you want your life to get easier, come find me before shit hits the fan, he says sarcastically. What do you mean? Narrow your eyes at him. Wouldn't expect to have a normal life. Now, would you? Dodson snorts. I did suspect that something was up. Place a finger on your chin as you glance away. Oh, something is about to be up. My foot up in your ass. Chuckles. Look, it won't be smooth sailing from here. Just turned to a corner and got shot. Coincidence? I think not. Nods. So what? You're saying the universe is against me? Spread your hands, gesturing at your surroundings. Godson shakes his head. No, but there are people who are against you. They want to use you for their own goals, and the people you give a damn about will be hurt. Glances away before looking back at you. I just don't want it to happen again. Again? What do you mean? It's complicated. I'll tell you everything once it makes sense. Were you the voice inside my head? One that woke me up? Dodson nods. Dodson nods. How did you? Dodson's laughter cuts you off. Nah, I'm just messing with you. I don't know whose voice that was. I didn't even know there was a voice when you woke up. I only found out yesterday that you're awake. Shrugs. How long does it usually take for you to find me? It depends on how far you are, but I can usually find you within 1 minute. Right now, something is dampening my powers and I can't do shit about it. So, what now? As you awkwardly shuffle, not knowing next. For now, you need to stop trying to get into your roommate's pants. Attachments are a useful burden unless are uh sorry. Attachments are a burden unless the person is useful. I'm I'm not trying to get in anyone's pants. Blush heavily. Yeah, just keep telling yourself that, he snorts. You roll your eyes, groaning in frustration. How far would you go for someone you care for? Godson smiles and waves you off dismissively. Wait, what? The whole world shifts until you're floating in nothing. No color exists, not even black or white. Floating, drifting into the vast, empty space. You're lying on something comfortable. Something warm is holding your hands. Not today. The strong antiseptic smell hits you, creases your face. Now you're wishing you're not in a hospital. It increases the chance of the people looking for you. Yeah. Groan as you sit on your bed. Oh shit. As you look around, you're definitely in a hospital. Here's someone. You look to your side and see Scarlet. You see Scarlet leaning on her chair, head tilted on her shoulder. It looks like someone shot her while she was sitting. Clearly her throat. She tilts her head back up while rubbing her eyes. Her head is slightly bobbing from side to side. Notice Scarlet's sagging eye bags, pinkish nose, eyes that are bloodshot red. Feel guilty. She's been crying. About you. Shouldn't you be at the cafe right now? Nudge her to get her attention. I closed the cafe as soon as I heard what happened to you, she says in a nasal voice, then yawns. And what about Selena? Scarlet just shakes her head. Selena doesn't know yet. I forgot to tell her. Have you been crying? You give her a quizzical look. What? No, of course not, she blurts out as she suddenly straightens her back, conscious of how she looks. Are you sure? Look like crap. Chuckle. A frown creases her blushing face. Well, I'm sorry if I don't have to look good for you, because I came here as fast as I could. Never said that you didn't look good. You smile. Oh. Her eyes widen with surprise. Face flushes heavily as she avoids your gaze. Her cheeks heat up. You scratch the back of your neck as the awkward silence fills the room. The doctor said you died, then came back to life. I panicked and came here as fast as I could. I sat here for a day and a half, waiting for you to wake up. Rubbed her arms up. Felt so useless, she sniffles. Scarlet massages her temples. I know this sounds silly, but it feels like this happened already. I think I read something on the internet. I think they call it deja vu. Shrug. No, this isn't one of those. It's like having multiple memories. Her face creases with a frown. Is the voice responsible for this? Dodson do this? Shuffle as you stand up. Anyway, we should get out of here. Doctor didn't have to patch you up. They told me that your wound has healed. He looks at your chest. Place a hand on your chest. Yeah? I guess so. You shrug. But you shouldn't push yourself from now on. I understand if you want to quit and do something else. Gives you a worried look. No, I'm fine. It was just an accident. Shrug. But that doesn't relieve her worries. Okay, if you're sure. I am. Nod. Just tell me if you need anything. Oh, and I haven't signed the papers yet, so you might have to wait for a few minutes. A few minutes later. Fix the buttons on your shirt as you watch the news. The Sentinels have just announced that they have an open slot. Mutants flock to the Sentinel HQ. Maybe it's the health benefits. Spot a recruiter flyer. Maybe it could get handy in the future. Or hasten stranger's hunt. Pick your poison. Take the flyer. Might come in handy. You unpin the flyer and shove it down your pocket before exiting the hospital. 2 days later, after an hour of convincing Selena and Scarlet that you want to try to find out more about the Sentinel's recruitment, After a few hours of convincing Selena and Scarlet that you want to check out what was written on the flyer, you finally arrive in front of the Sentinel HQ. Car door thuds as you exit. As you exit, I probably can't pick you up, so you'll have to find a way back. Just use your phone for directions. Selena raises the window up. You nod at her, give her a wave as she drives off. Turn your head toward the Sentinel HQ. Other buildings pale against the height of the HQ. Might even block the sun and make an overcast on the city. They weren't kidding when they said it's the tallest building in the city. Head towards the HQ before your neck soars. Inside the Sentinel HQ. The HQ's lobby is swamped with mutants, hoping to get accepted as a new candidate for the Sentinel's open slot. Once chosen as the new team member, you'll get health benefits and a large amount of salary. Or so they say. Maybe it's because of which team has the open slot. And right now, the only team with an open slot belongs to two hot heroes. The mutants suddenly grow silent and they all stare at you. Feel like you're under attack. Just want to hide. uh, Forgive me, I don't exactly have a wide array of female voices on hand. Hey there, cutie, says a voice behind you. I feel so stupid for doing this. Whip your head around to the source of the voice. A woman wearing a huge grin on her face. Chestnut brown hair tied up into a bun. Perfect white teeth. She looks like a toothpaste endorser. Behind her is another person. The woman never narrows her eye at Blur, groans, and looks at you. They look very similar, except for her long, fiery red hair. It's quite unusual. But it doesn't quite grab your attention the same way that her eyes, gleaming brilliant red and orange like a setting sun. Stop it, Blur. Stop it, Blur. Stop it, Blur. She scoffs before turning her attention to you. Please, move aside. You move aside, the two of them pass. Blur turns around, walking backwards, smiling. I'll see you around. She winks. Let's go. We're already late, she says in a stern voice. Blur turns around and rolls her eyes at her. She scoffs. Ember narrows her eyes at Blur and groans, then glances at you. As they turn to a corner, the crowd begins to murmur. What? You spread your arms in annoyance, looking at them. They snap their gazes, looking at anywhere but you. A few minutes later, you head towards the exit after a fruitless investigation about Sentinel. Hey, where are you going? Stop in front of the exit, then turn around and see Blur smiling at you. I'm going to get a drink. Or two. Can I come? Blur saunters closer. Don't you have a meeting to attend to? Yeah, but that's boring. Mind if I tag along? Yeah, sure, you nod. We have a bar, and I promise it's not as crowded as here. He gestures behind her. Shrug and begin to follow her. I'm Blair, by the way. She smiles. At the HQ bar. Surprisingly, the bar looks more of a kitchen. A very huge kitchen with stark white colors. The bar at least has dim lights. With cameras, of course. You're interested in joining the Senties, I take it. Leaning on the bar, she nods at the bartender to prepare the drinks. Bartender stiffens. Worry creases his face. You shoot him a glare. Turns around, pretending to browse the bottles. Turn your attention back to Blur. Senties? That what you call your team? I can already feel Ember's disapproving glare. He snorts. Arch a brow. Oh, she's my twin. The grumpy one you saw with me today. You nod and how many members do you have on your team? Blair glances at the bartender, giving him the you better shut up look, then smiles at you. Two, of course. Amber and we never got along. I fly solo. She's way too grumpy and serious, which most people would mistake her for being an asshole. Well, she kind of is. Oh, sorry. Well, she kind of is. He snorts. Two of you weren't close? Not even as kids? Blair empties her drink, then asks the bartender for the whole bottle, pouring it into her glass. No, I did a lot of stupid things when I was a kid, especially when we were teens. He became a police officer, I became a gang leader. Very nice wombo combo. She chuckles. But enough about my life. What about you? What about me? Feigned ignorance. Weren't exactly expecting for this to escalate from asking about how many members to story of my life. Oh, come on. I get the feeling that you're not the average human. Human? What do you mean? Give her a puzzled look. Blair takes a sip before continuing. I have this weird sixth sense of sort where I can identify someone as a mutant or a human. So, I'm a human? I'm sorry, what? Groaned inwardly. Yeah, but a strange one. Not exactly a mutant, but slightly human. So, what's your day job? Well, shit. I work at a cafe. In a panic blurts out. Hopefully, she's not going to ask where. Oh, cool. I might drop by if I get the chance. Where is it located? Shit, aboard, aboard. I'll show you around next time I come here. Come back here. Blair empties her drink, then shrugs. That would be nice. I don't have a lot of free times since the attack, he says while gesturing at the bartender to get another drink. Is Ember the leader of your team? I doubt that she wants to, but I know she won't refuse, he snorts. And what about you? Aren't you interested in becoming a leader? Blair arches a brow while side eyeing you as she takes a sip. And get swamped with paperwork and dealing with team members? No thanks, I'll let Ember do her thing. Well, that info was useless. All you wanted to know is who's in charge, not this weird envy and admiration combination. You know anything about the attack? Uh, so, your voice trails off, scratching the back of your head, unsure how to approach this. Should you go blunt? Beat around the bush? Do you know who's responsible for the recent attack? Blurt out. Blair cocks back her head, looking at you with a quizzical look. A not so subtle way, and you might have just raised her suspicions. Hope you're not a private investigator or something. You might become the only good person in looking person in prison. She chuckles nervously. Seriously though, you're not asking out of curiosity, right? Not because someone hired you. Blair leans closer, narrowing her eyes as she studies your face. Oh, and you are so screwed. Deflect, you groan inwardly. Of course not. I'm just interested in joining your team. I was just curious, you blurt out. Blair narrows her eyes even more, almost closing them. Then she leans back with a satisfied smile on her face. All right, I guess you're telling the truth. She downs her drink and raises a hand to the bartender, gesturing at him that she's not drinking anymore. Okay, I guess I trust you. These things are just my opinion. Blair clears her throat before continuing. I think the hive attack has something to do with the attacks, but I can't say that the mayor's speculation about the broken is either. The higher ups aren't sure as well, I take it. I suppose that's obvious, especially with the hiring of mutants. They're trying to form an elite team. You're not sure if you're worried because one of these candidates might be a member of the facility, which might increase your chances of finding you, or due to the number of applicants, your chances of becoming a member of their team will decrease. Wait, you're seriously interested in joining? Why is the Sentinel hiring heroes? Did the higher ups get spooked after the attack occurred? You sound like a nosy reporter being blunt, but being blunt is the best way to do this right now. Nah, it's just because of Mayor Dumbass. He ordered the Sentinels like a dog to hire at least one Class S team. And the only Class S willing to team up with me, remember? Oh, sorry. Let me redo that paragraph. Or, thing. Nah, it's because of Mayor Dumbass. He ordered that Sentinel like a dog to hire at least one Class S team. And the only Class S willing to team up is me and Ember. Well, more like forced to team up. She chuckles. You dislike the mayor? You smirk. No, I hate him to the bones. He's powerful, cunning, and an asshole. She says in a tight tone, then chugs her drink. Did he make you do a lot of paperwork? Chuckle. He can, but I won't. He's a powerful mutant. That's not the only reason why I hate him. He's hiding something. A grin looks ah, a grim look forms on her face. Am I smelling government conspiracy here? You just. At least this one isn't a blind follower. The mayor might even know or part of a shady government thing. Blur shoots the bartender a glance, then looks at you with a smile. Let's just say I think that it wasn't just the hive who was responsible for the attack. The bartender stifles a snort. You and Blur glare at him. What the hell is this? A glaring contest? Folds his arms. Well, maybe if you'd stop eavesdropping, then we'd stop glaring. Blair narrows her eyes at the bartender. Eavesdropping? Look at us. There's only like three of us in this place. He spreads his arms, gesturing at the place. His voice echoes around the room. Suddenly feel like you're alone. Use your phone or something and stop paying attention. That's like the opposite of what I need to do, the bartender protests. Blair glares at him, raises his hand in defeat, takes out his phone and plugs in his headset. Think of something else. As you think for another topic, both of your attention is taken by someone who suddenly sits beside you. Turn your head and see that it's Ember holding a bowl of cereal. Gesturing at the bartender to give her a bottle of gin and tequila, which she immediately pours into the bowl. Jesus. You look at Blur and see the amused look on her face. Bad day. Ember proceeds to eat angrily, then grunts in confirmation. So, this is Ember. Like I said, she's pretty and grumpy. So, I guess she's pretty grumpy. She laughs. Ember glares at Blur, then gives you a pleading look to make Blur stop. Nudge Blur with your elbow. I don't think she's got the energy to deal with your sense of humor. Blur rolls her eyes. Fine. At least she also shirked her responsibilities. Hey, I was finishing my paperwork before coming here. Emperor grumbles. You rise from your seat. I think I have to go. Thanks for the time, Blur. I'll see you soon. Tilts her head as she gives you a hopeful smile. Could say yes, and maybe you'll get more info, or maybe something else that interests you. Or be vague. Yeah, sure. Maybe next week. Or tomorrow. You smile. Cool. I'll be waiting. You nod and then turn around as you exit the place. As Kits leaves the building, Kits is us, by the way, just in case you couldn't recall. Blur spins around to look at Ember, who's grumpily eating. Ember side eyes her. What did he want? The bartender slowly slides to the corner of the bar as he feels the growing tension between the siblings, then puts the volume on full blast. Doesn't want to deal with two arguing Class S mutants. Asked a few questions about the Sentinel and us. Blur asks as she checks her polished nails. Ember slurps the bowl, then releases a sigh. What did you tell him? Oh, you know the usual. Story of our lives. Tends to make them bored. Did you think he was working for somebody? No, it was either out of curiosity or he's investigating something related to him personally. What's your take on him? Ember arches a brow. Fitz isn't a mutant, but he's also a strange human, she frowns, for even she is confused by her own words. Why? Oh, shoot. Why? Ember's face creases with worry. Blair shakes his head, or her head. It's a spelling error. No, it's different. Something was dormant inside of him. Like Brim? Blur shudders as she remembers her battle with Brim. Her fingers lightly brush against the scar on her chest. I, I don't know. This one is different. She stares at nothing as she suddenly relives the battle, chest heaving with heavy breaths, but she eventually calms down as Ember places a hand on her shoulder. Blair smiles weakly. I'm fine. I think I just need a drink or two. Ember nods at the bartender. A few hours later, back at the apartment. So, how did it go? Asks Selena while she takes a sip of her tea, leaning against the countertop as you wash a mug. Talking with Blair was interesting, but it's not like you didn't get information about the attack, even though it became the story of my life. Oh, I met Blur and Ember. Scarlet bolts from the living room to the kitchen, which you are in, squealing. You met two of the hottest and top five elite heroes? Selena rolls her eyes. Oh boy, here we go again. She scoffs and proceeds to drink her tea. What were they like? Did you get an autograph? Did you take a picture? Can I see it? Her words rushed, and you glance at Selena for help, and all you get is a shrug. I actually talked to Blur at the Sentinel's bar. Oh, and. Oh, wow. What did he talk about? Was she cool? Did you get her number? Are you gonna see her again? Well, we talked and stuff, and no, I didn't get her number. And she did ask me if she'll see me soon. Did you agree? Can I meet her? Scarlet, giving you a hopeful smile, but you could tell that she's trying to tone down her excitement. I said yes, maybe I'll be back tomorrow or next week, you shrugged. You should go meet her. You should go meet her again. Oh, wait, shoot. You should go meet her again. Who knows? Maybe you'll get a shot in becoming a candidate for the open slot in their team. Man, I can't do this. Give me a sec. Wrong opening. All right, hydrated and ready to rock. Mhm. Okay. Who knows? Maybe you'll get a shot in becoming a candidate for the open slot in their team. Her eyes twinkle in admiration. And what? Hope that kids take you with him? Selena chimes in. Selena narrows. Scarlet narrows Selena. What? I was just saying, Selena shrugs. Scarlet turns her attention back to you, giving you the puppy eyes. Fine, you can come with me. You fold your arms. Scarlet's face lightens up and begins to blabber about what she's going to bring and whatnots. Selena nudges your side with her elbow. She leans closer and whispers, "It's probably a good idea if you follow it up with a on one condition." She smiles mischievously. You clear your throat, which immediately catches Scarlet's attention. Okay, I'll take you with me if you pro- here we go. You cook me breakfast tomorrow. You can come with me if you cook me breakfast tomorrow. Scarlet frowns in confusion. But I always cook breakfast for the three of us, so that's not so bad, I guess. It's true, she growls at people who bother her when she's cooking. Ever since Selena charred the dinner, no one has been able to make a sandwich when Scarlet is cooking. Ah, but tomorrow you'll have to wear a maid outfit. You grin. What kind of fetish is that? Scarlet flushes heavily. Her eyes dart between you and Scarlet. A valid one. Selena chimes in. God damn it. Scarlet's hands ball into a fist. Fine, I'll do it. She grumbles and saunters out of the kitchen. You and Selena exchange glances, then burst into laughter. Oh, don't worry, Scarlet. At least you'll meet your heroes. She chuckles as she exits the kitchen. A few minutes later. So now that Scarlet is gone, mind telling me how your shit went? Asks Selena as she lies down on the couch, head tilted so that she can see you. Meh, it was good, I guess, you shrug, then take a sip of your chocolate drink. That's it? Selena releases a deep breath as she rises and sits. No starstruck? No hero worship? Why would I even do that? You snort. Selena shrugs. I don't know, you seem to be eager in joining the Sentinels, she says with a hint of disappointment in her voice. You're not fond of the idea? May have gotten the wrong idea since you took the flyer. Perhaps they assume that you're going to join. And yet they know what your powers are. All they know is you're just a mutant. Selena shrugs. Well, we won't be seeing you here often, so yeah. Her voice trails off, rubbing her arm up. Uncertain of how you react. How will you react? You move closer to her and when I become famous, I won't forget the one who hit me with their car, you chuckle. Selena folds her arms and rolls her eyes. Hey, I'm sorry. You narrow your eyes as you give her a not bad look. The door swings open. It's Scarlet holding a paper bag full of food and other items. Hey guys, I bought some stuff to celebrate. She smiles. Celebrate what? Well, I don't know, she shrugs and saunters toward the kitchen. You empty your mug, but as soon as you turn around, you accidentally step on your foot, making your trip. The mug in your hand shatters as it hits the floor. A shard buried itself into the palm of your hand, causing it to bleed. You roll over, wincing as you pull the shard out. Ah, shit, that was very clumsy of me. Of me. Whew. Selena immediately rushes to a kitchen cabinet and pulls out a first aid kit, then approaches you. Don't worry, you are very graceful. Selena chuckles as she helps you up. Let me see that. Gently cheeks. She gently checks your bleeding palm. Luckily, we don't have to perform surgery. Ah, God, this accent's getting worse and worse. She snorts. You wave her off dismissively. I'm fine. And one of the benefits of immortality, you try to hide a smile. Selena snags your hand and starts cleaning the wound. What do you mean it's fine? Look, the wound is so big it almost looks like a mouth. She doesn't even bother to mask the concern in her voice. I told you it's fine, you assure her, which doesn't help the worry that creases her face. Look, it should heal. Your voice trails off as you look at the wound. In a few weeks? Well, shit. Your jaw tightens as you look at the wound, not even minding the pain as Selena cleans it. The wound is not healing, it's just there, agape. Selena's hand shuffles around the box as she looks for the medical gauze. Scarlet pops her head from the kitchen. I heard some commotion. Something wrong? You grimace as Selena begins to wrap your hand. Selena gestures at the shattered mug. Can you please clean that up? You hear some noise in the kitchen. Then Scarlet comes out with some cleaning tools. Scarlet crouches down and starts cleaning. What happened? Oh god, is that blood? Yeah, Kit's tripped and broke the mug. It's a shard from the. Okay, I get the picture. Scarlet's should be not Scarlet. Scarlet's face goes pale as it contorts in disgust. You glance at Selena, chuckling. Selena finally lets go of your hand. Should heal in no time, she smiles. Yeah, no shit. Should have healed a few seconds ago. You can't figure out why it isn't healing, why you tripped. It's not like you to be clumsy. You were a mercenary. That is what you remember, and that is what Godson has told you. Could it be that your powers are fading? Not exactly a mutant, but slightly human. Blur's voice echoes through your head. Kits? Hey, Kits? You blink down hard as Selena snaps her fingers in front of you. A concerned frown tugs at her face. Are you alright? Hesitantly nod. Yeah, of course. My mind was just somewhere else. You smile. Well, okay. Wake me up if you need anything. With that, she heads to her room. You nod and turn your attention towards your palm. What the hell? You whisper underneath your breath. The very next day. Hey, Kits, are you okay? Not fond of tea, are you? Asks Selena. The concern in her voice breaks her. Sorry. Breaks her revere. Selena keeps bugging you that drinking tea will make you feel better, which you're not sure if it will. You nod. Yeah, I'm fine, you assure her before snapping your attention back to your wounded palm. You don't know why you're not healing the way you used to. Makes you feel intrigued. Intrigues you that your body is losing its powers, or perhaps they're lying dormant. When you lift your head, you see Scarlet in a maid outfit. Is this really necessary? Scarlet protests as she tugs the inadequate skirt down to her knees. Careful, you might rip your outfit and accidentally undress. Scarlet chuckles. But I would be fine with that accident. She continues to chuckle. Oh, come on, you look good. Do your best not to laugh. Assholes, she grumbles. Scarlet's face is almost as red as her hair. She places the tray down on the table as she tries to avoid your gaze. When your gaze locks with her, you can almost hear her take a short breath before looking away. She's wearing a black dress with white trims with a ridiculous skirt length that doesn't seem to reach her knees. She wipes her hand on her white half apron, and cherry on top is the headpiece that she's wearing. Every Even though she's red like a tomato, you find it. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, she looks adorable. You smile at her. Don't worry, you look adorable. Her eyes widen, and you swear that you hear her stifle a yelp. Wonder how fast Selena acquired. You wonder how Selena acquired the outfit so fast. Hey, wait. Hey, Selena, where did you get that? Point at Scarlet. Oh, her? I found her living in a dumpster, so I took her in. Tea gushes out of her nose, but she isn't bothered by it. Just keeps on laughing. Seriously, though, where did you get that? Scarlet leaves to her room. Found the guy online with the fetish for these things. I guess he needed cash because he sent it instantly. She wipes a tear. Anyway, good luck on your hero stuff. Inside the Sentinel HQ. So, who's this? Asks Blur, wearing a smile as she gestures at Scarlet. Scarlet perks up, standing behind you, and takes a peek. What you expected was a squealing Scarlet running around the HQ, taking pictures at anything with "This item was touched by a hero" sign. Surprisingly, Scarlet is well behaved, almost too well. Hi, I'm Scarlet, she says nervously. You glance at Scarlet, face all red as she avoids her gaze at Blur. Eventually, her eyes lock with yours, screaming with, "Help, I don't know what to do." Blur lifts a finger, pointed back and forth towards you and Scarlet. Is she your partner? You didn't really expect things to get this awkward. Or perhaps you did and you didn't care that much until now. I'm talking like a robot. You feel Scarlet's grip tighten as she hears the question. She looks at you for a brief moment, then looks away. Blur clears her throat, which catches your attention. So, it's complicated. Trying to lessen the awkward blow with a crooked smile. Uh, Blush and shuffle at the uncertainty. Ah, well, we're just roommates. You give her an awkward smile as your cheeks warm up. When you glance at Scarlet, she's already glaring daggers at you. Quickly whip your head towards Blair. I mean, we're friends. Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to make you feel awkward, but it's good to know that my hopes aren't squashed yet. She winks. Feel your stomach fluttering. Look down at your feet, uncertain if that was a joke or not. Blair nods at a nearby guard, gesturing him to approach. Mr. Her voice trails off as she squints at the name tag. The guard clears his throat and straightens his back. You can call me Thad. Blur smiles sheepishly. I'm sorry. Your name is very hard to read. The guard raises his hands. The guard raises his hand, interrupting Blur. Yes, I know. He turns his attention to Scarlet, who's still behind you, peeking. Come, I'll give you a tour. Scarlet looks at you like a kid asking for permission to go on a field trip. You just look at her with a confused frown. What? You're old enough to decide for yourself. You know. Scarlet just rolls her eyes, then follows the guard down the hall. Blur glances at her wristwatch. A sour look creases her face. Ah, crap. I still have this press conference to get to, so we might not have enough time. But I could still drop you off at the gym. It's the closest thing here, if that's alright with you. She gives you an apologetic look. I'm guessing this has something to do with the attack. Blur is the only Sentinel member who adores the spotlight. You've seen it on the TV as Scarlet keeps ranting with random useless facts. You shrug. It's fine. It's fine. A hero's work is never done, I suppose. You wink. Tell me about it. There's like 2,000 heroes and vigilantes in the city, but due to my perfect white teeth, I have to smile for the camera. Puffs her chest, then gives you $1 million smile. You chuckle. That's very humble of you. Oh, stop it, you. She waves her hand. Anyway, shall we get going? Two of you walk, chatting about random things and sometimes throwing jokes. Two passersby shoot disapproving, looking at the two of you, as her voice and laughter fills the hallway. The gym is on fire. As you finally arrive, everyone seems to avoid a certain portion of the gym, like they're avoiding the plague. Glance at Blur. Her face creases with tired concern. Something wrong? Arch your brow. Yeah, just remembered that Ember is here. Sorry, accidentally messed around with the wire. Yeah, I just remembered that Ember is here. Probably sparring. How do you know that she's. Before you could even finish, Bird grabs you and forces you to duck as someone flies just above your head. The scent of burning clothes and a strong metallic odor hits your nose. That. She points at the human like robot with the huge molten hole in its chest. Is how I know she's here. How often does she send robots flying? You arch your brow. Blur walks towards the area. Other mutants start shooting worried looks at Blur, and some have wide grins on her face, probably wondering how this will end up. Blur turns around, walking back, finally turns around, walking backwards. It depends if she's in a bad mood. Well, worse than her usual grumpiness. Turns around, chuckling. You spot Ember furiously punching a sparring robot. The robot staggers back. Sparks crackle as it crumples to the floor. Molten holes cover its metallic body. Ember barely spares you a look before turning her attention to another spot. Why is he here? Citizens aren't allowed here, she says in between breaths as she dodges the bot's attack. Oh, don't be a stick in the mud. She looks at you with warmth. It's as a friend. Ember arches a brow, glaring at you, or glancing at you briefly, before throwing a fiery punch at the robot's face, instantly melting it. Well, it is just an acquaintance since you just met him yesterday. Also, it's illegal to bring unauthorized personnel here. She places a hand on her waist as she wipes her face with a towel. Can't help but look at Ember's half-naked body, follow the trails of sweat trickling down her hard abs. Okay. Heat radiating from your neck, stomach fluttering, knees weak, arms heavy, vomit on your sweater already. Mama spaghetti, you know what this is. Oh, no. Ember notices where your eyes are. What? You shuffle nervously, trying to hide the blush on your face. Nothing. Hey, that's just rude. It's as a friend, and I have decided that he can come here whenever he wants, whether you like it or not. Voices Blur's voice is unusually stern. You can feel tension crackling between the two of them. Ember folds her arms. You've often made bad decisions. Not until. Are we counting stars now? And I didn't ask for your help. She interrupts. Blur looks at you, then sighs. Look, you can stay here and use some of the equipment or whatever. The HQ provides gym clothes, so don't worry, and I'll be back. I promise. He shoots Ember one last challenging look before leaving. Ember starts wrapping her hands with athletic gauze. You know how to use your fist and land a hit without getting knocked down. Just 3 seconds. Are you asking me to spar with you? I'm asking you whether you're a punching bag or not. She smirks. You're not sure if she was challenging you or insulting you. Yes, I know how to fight. You fold your arms. Prove it. She tosses you her spare equipment in the ring. People around the gym start to draw in closer as they finally see someone who dared to spar with Ember. That someone is you. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity right now. You aren't sure if you're being brave or stupid. If Ember accidentally hits you with the fist on fire, you're toast. Is this a good idea? No. Do you want to beat the shit out of her? Probably. Are you going to fight a walking candle without your powers? Yes. Just scream if you want to surrender. She smiles grimly as she raises her guard, then waves her hand at you in a taunting manner. You've never done boxing, but you did watch videos on Scarlett's phone before Selena bought you one. Maybe you got the gist of it. Or so you think. You remember some of the fighting styles, you curse yourself for thinking too much. This is just a sparring match, she groaned inwardly. Stay out of range and wait. No, wait. Damn. Overwhelm her with your. No. Stay out of range and wait for an attack. You take a step back, gaining distance. Ember keeps throwing jabs, but you simply lean a bit, just enough for you to strike back. You can see it in her face. She's not used to this kind of fighting. The waiting game. Most of her punches miss. Some just graze her chin. You can already see her frustration. You're just waiting for her to make a mistake. Ember suddenly takes a wide step, arching her arm for a wild swing. You sidestep and throw a hook to her face. Oh, she definitely felt that as she tries to regain her balance. Her lower lip is starting to bruise. Great. So now I have to wear makeup. She hisses as she shifts her lower lip. I accept your surrender. You chuckle. Is that what you said when you're talking to your? Oh, is that what you said when you're talking to yourself? Wait. Oh, damn it. Ah. Is that what you said when you talk to yourself in the mirror? Didn't know she's capable of humor. Ember suddenly changes her stance, her feet now bouncing as if there's lava on the floor. Ember hops towards you. You throw a jab, then realize it was just a feint. She closes the distance easily, then assaults your body with a flurry of blows which take the air out of your lungs. You stagger backwards, barely raising your guard, still trying to catch your breath. You curse yourself for not forgetting that you're not immortal, that you're no longer immortal, and this will surely leave a mark for a few weeks. Ember takes a step forward, fist ready to meet your face, but you're not going down without a fight. Sidestep then counter. You sidestep, her fist whiz past you. You shift your weight, launching one last punch, but she mimics your move, sidestepping your punch before sending a flying fist towards you. You're ready to accept it. You're out of stamina, barely getting enough air, and you're starting to doubt if this is still a sparring match. You're ready to give up, till you feel something stirring within you, like a storm contained within a bottle. A single tendril, as thin as hair, reaches out to you, offering help. You help. Take it. You reach out to the tendril, feeling its power surging through you like electricity. You're surprised how something so small within you can give you such a boost. Perhaps this is your power, but it feels familiar, but different at the same time. Ember's fist now a few inches away from your face. Simply tilt your head, dodging her attack. Confusion riddles her face. For a second, she thought you didn't have any stamina left. And for a moment, so did you. You lean forward, bending your knees to set an uppercut with the power of a nuke. Time slows. Beads of sweat float without a care in the world. Time returns to normal. Your fist merely grazes her chin, but it's enough to make her stagger back and lean on the ropes. The crowd cheers as you spot Ember smiling. Impressive. She nods. What the hell is going on here? A loud voice roars from the gym doors. Everyone falls silent. The crowd parts as Blur stomps towards Ember. Blur steps into the ring, glaring at Ember before turning her attention to you. Are you all right? No fireballs were flung at you, right? Forcing herself to smile at you, unsuccessfully masking the concern on her face. I'm fine. We were just sparring, you assure her, even though you're not sure if that was a sparring match. Blair looks at you, up and down, before turning to Ember. If you wanted a sparring match, you could have just waited for me. He's pretty good, keeps me on my toes. I wouldn't mind sparring with him again. You and Blair are surprised at Ember's smile. Blair smiles. Blair smirks. "Huh, you like him?" The crowd lets out a teasing "Ooh." They all stop as soon as Ember glares at them. As if. She scoffs. Blair releases a heavy sigh. Come on, let's go to the clinic and get you fixed up. Your friend Scarlett already went home. Well, that was a dick move, leaving you here. Nod at Blair, then follow her as she exits the gym. Alright, we're almost to a stopping point that I think is very appropriate. Appropriate. Ugh. So let me get some more water in me. That's the last of the water that I have on me right now. Ah, it's so dark and gloomy, it feels like Christmas all over again. Okay, chapter chapter 3. Anchor Anchor of Masks. You shiver, rubbing your hands up to your arms. You underestimate the cold air of the night. The hoodie jacket that you're wearing barely warms you. You grit your teeth as you trudge through the dimly lit street. You sigh in relief as you finally reach a 24/7 store. As you walk towards the store, your phone rings. Crap. It's probably Scarlett. As you fish out your phone, you see 36 missed calls from Scarlett. You forgot that you don't have an excuse for your bruises. You clear your throat, trying to mask the panic in your voice. Yeah? What do you mean by yeah? It's almost midnight. We got worried. We thought something happened to you. I called you like 12 times now. Where are you? Are you alright? Are you sure it's 12 times? Okay, maybe more than 12. I'm just making sure you're okay. You can't help but smile for some reason. Feel happy that she's worried about you. Keep smiling like a fool. I'm fine. I just went on a tour, that's all, you assure her. Well, okay. That's good to know. Anyway, if you could buy some ingredients on the way here, that would be great. Yeah, I'm actually in front of a 24/7 store right now. Oh, okay. I'll text you the things that I need. The call ends with a beep. You didn't notice that you've been holding your breath until you sigh in relief. You start to walk towards the store while your mind keeps on looking for an excuse for your bruises. As you enter the store, you notice that there are only two people, you and a cashier who's bored out of her mind. You browse the shelves, shoving the things that Scarlett texted you into your basket. As you head for the cashier, you stop in front of two dangling keychains. Buying one would at least soften the blow when you tell them what happened to you. You decide to buy the hero, Moo Moo Chicken, for Scarlett. I want to buy this keychain for Scarlett because a gift for a friend, and also hoping that I can use this as an excuse. You take the keychain, then proceed to the cashier as you pile the things that you bought on the counter. As the cashier gets busy, you dial Scarlett's number on your phone. Hey, I just bought the ingredients that you texted, and I'm on my way. Okay, great. I'm making pasta tomorrow, and the line gets suddenly cut off. You glance at your phone. Maybe her battery died. Still, you can't shake the odd feeling off. Nod at the cashier before exiting the store. A few minutes of walking and enduring the cold, you're finally in front of your apartment. The store wasn't that far away from where you're staying. Tilt your head, you find it odd that the lights are all on as you glance at your room's window. Knowing that Scarlett is conservative when it comes to energy, lights should be off, especially this late at night. Maybe a guest arrived. You shrug as you continue to head towards your apartment. Something is wrong. Hey, Scarlet, why are the lights? You stop, the door slightly open. You drop the things you bought as you quickly open the door. Your eyes widen in shock and horror. Selena lying in a pool of blood. You rush towards her. Your knees hit the floor as you cradle her head on your lap. You can feel the blood sliding along your arm and down to your fingers. Its warmth soon turns cold. She was killed not a minute ago. A note with a picture of a beehive sits on her stomach. Heart beats faster, eyes dilating. Feel your muscles burn as you gather your thoughts. I'm with the police. Don't move. Someone shouts behind you. You see a woman wearing a black trench coat pointing a gun at you. See her badge hanging on her neck. Put your hands up where I can. She gets interrupted as you tug your hoodie, hoping that it will obscure your face. You rise and sprint towards the window, crashing through it. Shards of glass crunch underneath your feet. Don't mind the pain. Need to run. Now. You hear a loud thud and a groan, and you turn around and see the police, lying on the ground, clutching her arm. This wasn't such a good idea. She groans in pain. Did she just jump from the third window as you did? Third floor window as you did? Doesn't matter. For now, you need to escape this madness. Your legs move hastily. Your muscles are burning, heart beating faster than before. What would take a 10-minute run from your apartment to the 24/7 store? Came a 2-minute run? You're faster. Are your powers coming back? Why now? Still feel the stinging sensation in your feet, which means one thing: you're still not healing. Close your eyes. Then it hits you. Where's Scarlet? Did they take her? A loud honk breaks you from your thoughts. When you open your eyes, the last thing you see are two orbs of light, just like how you met Selena. Crash! Died. Maybe that's a good thing. You deserve it. For failing to save your sister in the past, keeping secrets from Scarlet and Selena, especially Scarlet. You open your eyes, finding yourself staring at the night sky blanketed by stars that seem to be gazing down on you. What did I tell you about attachments? You recognize that voice. Godson. Don't bother moving. You just lie there on the grass, moping in self pity. Stand the fuck up. Godson kicks you, sighs when you notice that you won't budge. Godson, what have I done? You fight back the tears, your voice shaking. Oh, you didn't do anything. That's the problem. Weren't so careless, then none of this wouldn't have happened. I already told you that attachments are a burden. But did you listen? No, because you're too stupid. Doesn't bother hiding the venom in his voice. Just lie there, feeling that something died. You're not sure why you're crying. You feel numb, like something died within you. Was it hope or something else? So what? You're just gonna lie there and mop for eternity? They're all gone, Godson. Say flatly. Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't give a shit about your roommates. That doesn't mean you can't do anything about it. What are you suggesting? Your face almost twitches into a frown. What is it that you desire? You find the tone of his voice rather enticing. I want Scarlet back. You hear Godson sigh. I was hoping for a plan rather than a simple goal. Well, a goal is better than nothing, I suppose. You could almost picture him shrugging, but your eyes are locked on the blanket of stars. Do you know why it's nighttime here? Godson asks as you reply with a small shake of your head. It's because you're feeling guilty, and we're lucky that that's all you feel. Because a mixture of emotions would create a storm. Ah, damn. What do you feel? loss because your world started to collapse? Or is it your sanity because you wish that your immortality would heal your wounds, including the physical ones, of course? Is it grief, like a limb is torn from your body without a chance to save it? Alas, finally know the difference between alone and loneliness. 5 years later, 10 years later, and your roommates will remain 6 feet under, but you won't, he says, as in a matter of factly tone. Do you have a plan? You ask as you push the farthest corners of your mind. Yes, now listen carefully. Find me and retrieve your memories back. By doing so, you'll find your other roommate, he says as if stating a fact. You sigh. Fine, any idea how I do that? Well, I think Lucifer is still alive. So, if you find him, make a deal. Wait, you mean like the devil? You don't get to finish your sentence as the world shifts into a blur. Moment of vertigo. You cough as you feel the salty taste in your mouth. You hear something yelping. You open your eyes and a puppy greets you by bobbing your nose with its forehead, as if trying to wake you up. You groan as you get up. Pain hammers your head. You look around and you realize you're on a rocky beach. Looking up, a tall bridge with police cars seed the area. Just fall after the truck hit you? Trudge to know who. You trudge to who knows where, wondering if your powers have returned. Glancing down, the puppy is still beside you, tail wagging as it walks behind you. Ignore it and just continue walking. You ignore it. It's not like it's bothering you. Bothering you. A few hours later, you're cold, wet, and hungry, but that doesn't stop you from finding Godson's advice. Find Lucifer. Asking around for Lucifer's whereabouts was easy, but walking from the middle district to the upper district was hell. You let out a sigh of relief when you see Lucifer's nightclub. Heaven sent. Partygoers make way as you trudge towards the guard. Places a hand on your chest, stopping you from enter. Need to see Lucifer, you say. Yeah, most of them do, he snorts. You don't understand. You grit your teeth, wondering how ridiculous you might sound. I'm here to make a deal, you say flatly. Following the guard, surprisingly, the guard nods and tells you to follow him. Ding! The elevator door opens. The guard approaches a tall man, whispering something before nodding at you. The tall man turns around, wearing a navy blue suit that accentuates his broad shoulders, with mesmerizing eyes along with a perfectly chiseled face. He wears a smile that could break 1,000 hearts and end wars. I must admit, goddamn, what do we give Lucifer? What kind of accent? Give me a second, let me figure this out. I must admit, you're not one of my usuals. I must admit, one of my. I must admit, one of my usual. I must admit, you're not one of my usuals. Pauses as he looks for the right word. Favor askers. You're the first beggar to ask me for a favor. He smiles. Take a quick look at yourself. Didn't notice that you had lost a shoe and carrying a puppy close to your chest. Oh no, I'm not a. Don't worry about that. So, what do you want? He says in a silvery voice. A new life, you say flatly. Gotta be more specific than that. You sigh. There's a lot of things that you want and need. to do. I need a shower. Surprisingly, he chuckles in amusement. Well, that's not a bad favor to ask. You know what? I'll give you some clothes and you can take a shower. He points at a guest room. Free of charge, he winks. There are a lot of things that I want. Good. Since I'm late, you can write a list and wait for me. He walks briskly to the elevator. Oh, and feel free to grab a drink. He gestures at the minibar with shelves full of colorful drinks. For the devil, he's oddly generous. Place the puppy down on the floor as you head towards the guest room. Grabbing a pen and paper, jot down what you need. A new apartment. Doubt the police saw your face. Some cash. Can't save your roommate if you're broke. Scribble down the names of some people that can help you in providing more info. Tap the pen on the table as you ponder. Glance down, or you feel something brush against your leg. Glancing down, it's the puppy looking at you with its puppy eyes. You guess that it's yours now, and it doesn't have a name yet. So you'll just have to settle for oh, Boop, because I want to boop the snoot. You lift Boop up, checking its behind as you find out that he's a good boy. Place Boop down, then it hits you. You're gonna need a new persona if you're gonna take down the ones responsible. It's must remain unknown to the world. You scribble down you scribble down what you need. You shall be known as let's just use my gamer tag because it's cool. Killer Farmer. You want to wear something that looks cool with Killer Farmer. A full cloak that covers the rest of my body. An enigma approach. Your hoodie saves your identity last, and you must do the same right now. Nothing fancy, but just enough to hide your face. You choose hmm, a featureless mask with two slits for eyes. Enigmatic. The world turns into a haze. You realize that this is just a memory. Have to focus on the task at hand, taking Dr. Pavlov. And with that, we'll end it here for now. Got through a decent amount. Not really. We still have a lot left to go through. But I no longer have a voice anymore. It's starting to irritate me. Not doing this, just the whole, I don't know. I told you, I still never got rid of the cough. This has been going on for like a month now. It's really killing me. I want to go back to warm weather because it might go away with it. So, I want to thank you for attending this Monday's book session. I think that's what we'll do. We'll keep this up every single Monday, maybe somewhere between 1:30 to 2 o'clock, all the way through whenever there's a good stopping point in the book. And I don't just mean like reading a single paragraph, deciding that that's a good stopping point. Not going to jip you out of that. All right, so I appreciate you coming and hanging around, and stay frosty, and I'll see you on the other side of the day.